Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Hypno! Hypno, we often only think about Hypno whenever they bring around the Kanto Cup, but guys, back in the day, Hypno was hardcore, heavy meta, and it has dropped off in usage quite a bit, but now, with the lack of ghost types, they're not quite as heavy. Now, Hypno has a lot more play, and it will be serving as the safe swap, along with Noctowl in the back on this team here. Noctowl, amazing. It can be very strong as a closer, because with its bulk, it can perform well when shields are down and has excellent coverage with Shadow Ball, and of course with Wing Attack. It can get to those sky attacks really fast. And also on this team, serving as the lead, we've got Obstagoon. Obstagoon serves as a very versatile and effective lead in the Great League, as a lot of people lead with steel types, and Obstagoon handles them beautifully. You can also often see ghost type leads like Trevenant and Sableye. Obstagoon handles those as well, so very solid on the lead. But before we dive into the featured set of the video, we are going to start things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons and fun, and picking up a positive lead in the form of Abomasnow. And they're staying in on this terrible lead, which means that they are ABA weak to Obstagoon, which is quite nice. Gonna go for the cross chop. I recommend cross chop on Obstagoon. Obstruct is not the way to go, in my humble opinion, for reasons like this, guys. We have the coverage of cross chop, and it is quite nice. They are going to look to soft lose lead here because I'm reading that they are ABA weak to an Obstagoon. That's the only reason to do this here. We win lead, they make a play in the Metacham, and we pivot into our Noctowl. This is why we've got this backline with our Obstagoon lead, to protect it from the Metachams and Defense Form Deoxys, and any other fighter for that matter. Although DD is not a fighter, sort of plays like a fighter. I think you guys know what I mean. And we are just playing out this mid-game matchup here with the Metacham, and they are shielding. So that leads me to believe that they are also weak to a potential Noctowl in the back. They are fighting super hard, and we are still up 2 shields. And there it is. They had a Sableye. They were very weak to both an Obstagoon and a Noctowl, which is why this team can be so effective. Right now, we go for that big Shadow Ball. We were only getting the one move with Noctowl. If you can only get to one move, you go for the big move. And we are going to combo play with a Night Slash on the Sableye, and we get the boost. That is amazing. We will shield this. We don't have to. One confusion, one double resisted confusion would have taken it out, but from our Hypno, but we do want to get off a boosted Night Slash on the Metacham just to further solidify this victory here, and they are going to throw to take us out. We will let this go. And guys, one good reason to run Hypno is because there are so many Metachams, guys, and Metacham does not like confusion users, especially confusion users with stab, and we do take it out with our Hypno. That's going to be a good game. Well played. I will say, if you run a team with Hypno, you love to see those Metachams. Hypno does quite well. But here we go. Golbat lead. Not a good lead for us. We will actually pivot into our Noctowl here. Hypno would be our hard counter. You never want to safe swap into your hardest counter. You want to go into your soft counter. And they meet us with a Steelix. This is exactly why you'd never want to pivot into your hard counter, because Steelix has access to Crunch, which can hit our Hypno for quite a bit of super effective damage, as well as a Steel typing, which is resisting our fast move pressure. So this is exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to draw out a harder counter to Hypno so that we can hopefully clear this very bulky Steel type and allow Hypno to perhaps sweep this game for us. We will shield up this Psychic Fangs here, and try to get off another Shadow Ball. Hits for quite a bit of neutral damage, and we are now drawing shields from the Steelix here, and gonna go for Shadow Ball number 3. Now this is tricky because they can tank this, and our defense has been heavily compromised from those Psychic Fangs, and we just cannot quite flip the switch here, and that is okay. Gonna tank this, double resisted, Psychic Fangs here. Everything that Steelix could throw would be resisted outside of a potential EQ, of course, and we do farm down. Gonna look to stay in a little bit and chip this Golbat, but we primarily wanted to soak this Poison Fang. We knew that they were quite loaded, and we were actually going to bank that. We could have thrown that to chip a little bit, but we knew we had Hypno. They've got a Lucario in the back. Very spicy. Lucario, not good for the Open Great League because it is just far too squishy. And these neutral confusions are really chunking on Lucario. I really had to think long and hard. Do I want to tank a Shadow Ball from Lucario or Golbat? Definitely don't want to tank one from Lucario. It hits like a truck, and we will have to tank one from the Golbat. That's fine. We live because we are quite bulky, and we have access to super effective Thunder Punches, and our confusions absolutely chunk. We are getting quite low, and they will be able to farm down, but we did get some confusion damage before we went down. And this is looking like GG's here because we have enough bulk to withstand these debuffs, and we do have a Night Slash locked and loaded for the, almost said Noctowl for the Golbat. And we will get to another Night Slash in time. They can see the match. That's going to be a good game. Well played. This Hypno team was really putting in the work. Hypno so versatile, has such a diverse move pool, makes it really effective. And here we go, Basti lead, they make a play into Victory Bell. So, team reading, if they lead with Basti and they bring in a Victory Bell, you can bet the house that there is either a Medicham or a Defense Form Deoxys in the back. So you always want to meet this with your Hypno. I made the mistake of coming in with Noctowl and trying to fully farm it down and got hit with a Sludge Bomb and lost the game, guys. So the safer play is to come in with Hypno. They could also have a Trevenant, so you definitely want to align the Hypno onto the Poison type. And we leave that matchup with little health for this Bastard on the farm, and they stop attacking here. I believe this was a ploy to make us think that they are not in the battle anymore, or they just want to take some additional damage. But I think they wanted to entice us to swap out and lock ourselves in, but we did not fall for that. And there it is, the Medicham right on cue, read the team like a book. You love to see it. We had proper alignment, and Noctowl can do just fine here, especially when they're running Power-Up Punch. Oh man, makes it even better for Noctowl. They can throw all the Power-Up Punches they want. It will not help them whatsoever. You definitely want Ice Punch, especially in this meta. Yes, it is nice and satisfying if you get locked in on a Steel type and you've got Power-Up Punch, but Ice Punch all the way. It gives you the broadest coverage, and this Medicham is struggling even more without the Ice Punch, which is why you'll want to run it if you run Medicham. Gonna shield this and just get rid of this Medicham. It's a nightmare for our Obstagoon. Obstagoon wants nothing to do with this Medicham, and we are gonna look to take it out with a Sky Attack. And this will absolutely be more than enough to say bye-bye to the Medicham, and they top left as our Obstagoon was gonna go to work on that Basti and close the game strong. Good game, well played. Had a lot of fun with those bonus battles, but we now move into the featured set of the video, and we are picking up a positive lead in the form of Galarian Stunfisk. This is why Obstagoon can be one of the more versatile leads in this meta, especially when they safe swap in something like an Altaria. It's nice because you can chip and dip, and that's exactly what we want to do. Altaria is one of the better answers to Noctowl. It just outbulks it, and the Dragon Breath fast move pressure with Stab is just a little too much, even for a Pokemon as powerful as Noctowl to overcome without some sort of chip damage or shield advantage. And we will have to shield because they will make it to a Sky Attack of their own and they let ours go through. So seeing that, yes, we are absolutely going to shield and look to go for an aggressive farm down. This is a very nice farm down range. It's a little risky because they could potentially make it to a Sky Attack, and that comes down to IVs, but we knew that we could pull that off. And if you're going to give up a shield advantage, you got to compensate with loaded energy, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. We have loaded energy for this Stunfisk. We get off one Shadow Ball, and we've got another one locked and loaded for this G-Fisk here, and they're letting it all go through. They're going to have to throw a move, but no, they bank a ton of energy and snipe with a Medicham. But guys, this is where Hypno comes in. Super clutch. Hypno loves to see Medicham, guys. This is why now is a very good time to run Hypno, because everyone seems to be running a Medicham either on the lead or in the back. And with this team, we saw it in the back. Not only is it a good matchup for Medicham because it can run Shadow Ball, but we're resisting this fast move pressure, and they can throw all the Psychics they want. It's doing nothing to Hypno, guys. This is why Hypno loves to see Medicham. It loves to see Defense Form Deoxys as well, which is why Hypno is quite nice and very much underutilized in this current meta. It's quite versatile, guys. As you can see, we have access to Thunder Punch. We've actually got access to all of the elemental punches, which means that we can fight back against the flyers as well. This is an unintentional catch. We did not intend to catch this. I did not expect them to throw immediately. I expected them to farm up a little bit. And we're kind of flexing on them here. We're going to no-shield the EQ and allow Hypno to shine. Please don't play like this, guys. I don't recommend it unless you are thoroughly experienced and know what you're doing. But we flex on them a little bit, having a little fun. Good game, well played to them. I had a lot of fun running Hypno, and to be honest, I really missed not being able to run it in previous seasons, but this is a good season to run Hypno for sure. For reasons like this, guys, they had a Shadow Machamp lead. That's a nightmare for our Obstagoon. We swap in the Hypno, and they meet us with a Noctowl. This is, again, where Hypno can be so clutch and so versatile. Gonna shield up this Shadow Ball. I had a feeling they wanted to take our heads off with a massively super effective Shadow Ball. Not gonna let that happen. And this is why, again, Hypno is quite nice. We can run Thunder Punch and fight back against these flyers like Noctowl, Pelipper. Hypno has a fun time against them when it's running Thunder Punch, and we grabbed both shields from the Noctowl. You love to see it. And we know that this could be a Shadow Ball, and we also know that we tank it. And we know that we can get to another super effective Thunder Punch. It's not going to KO, but I have a very, very strong and confident feeling that we can confusion this thing down, and we do. Hypno coming in clutch on the swap. You'd love to see it. We can now align appropriately. They come back in with the Machamp, and it is Noctowl time, and a Machamp with no shields is a very sad Machamp. And they've got a Lantern in the back. Shocker, surprise, surprise. A backline consisting of Lantern and Noctowl. Would you have ever thought? Holy smokes, but that's fine. Obstagoon's going to do just fine. We're not overly concerned with taking out this Lantern. We just want to get it within a comfortable health range for our Noctowl to perhaps land a resisted Sky Attack. So we're going to let this go. We don't want to give up our final shield because that Shadow Machamp does have energy, and having a Rock Slide come through would be disastrous. So we accomplished what we wanted. We wanted to get this within a comfortable range. We knew that we had residual energy on the Noctowl, and we knew that we could KO with a resisted Sky Attack. We're saying bye-bye to the Lantern. And now we're not out of the woods just yet, guys. We have to call this correctly. A Rock Slide would KO, and we do shield correctly. That sealed the deal. We were 2 wing attacks off from the Sky Attack, and we win. We're saying bye-bye to the Shadow Machamp, and Noctowl come in clutch. In the end, had to make a call there, and we called it correctly. Good game, well played. And I'm sure many of you are wondering if Shadow Hypno would work. Yes, absolutely. There are actually some matchups where the Shadow would be better off. But I prefer bulk. I favor bulk, guys. That's just my play style. And this, speaking of the Shadow, this is a matchup where the Shadow is actually, I would say, better to have. You just having that 20% Shadow bonus on a Pokemon as bulky as this Lantern really comes in clutch. So we did shield up the first Thunderbolt. The play for them is to just go straight Thunderbolt here. And if they're good, they know that they could do quite well against the non-Shadow version. But again, I prefer the bulk, and we're going to bait here. This is the proper way to play this out. You got to bait and then try to land that big Shadow Ball. It's not going to KO. And this is where I was really kicking myself for not running my Shadow. Because right about here, we needed a third Confusion to KO. I believe Shadow Hypno KOs in 2. And we have to go down a shield to keep our alignment. And that, I think, is going to not bowl out so well for us because We need our Obstagoon on the Stunfisk. We could not control the alignment here. Well, we can, but they're up a shield, and we don't know what else they have in the back. That's often a pretty rough proposition. They have to have something like Trevenant or something like that, and they don't. They have a Noctowl of their own, and if they have an opposing Noctowl, the one with the shield will win every single time. So it's looking pretty rough for us. An uphill battle, but we're going to try our very best here. They can just go straight Sky Attack, of course. It would be quite foolish if they went for a double resistant Shadow Ball. So yeah, they just go straight Sky Attack, and that's exactly what we do as well. This will not KO, and we will pressure that final shield with a Sky Attack of our own. All they have to do is shield us and farm down, and they put us in a very rough position here, and that is exactly what they do. They are absolutely playing to their win conditions, and I think it's going to pay off from them because this Sky Attack, it's not going to be good because that's almost said Skuntank. Holy smokes, that Stunfisk will do a lot of damage with an EQ. I'm going to go for this cross chop here, and I know that an EQ does not KO, but it puts us in a dangerously uncomfortable health range. It's not looking good, yeah. It's just about lights out. We can farm down, but that Noctowl just needs one wing attack to KO, and we just could not quite get that one done. It came down to not running the Shadow, and it came back to bite us, but good game, well played to them. Man, knowing that one came down to just choosing to not run the Shadow was a tough pill to swallow, but here we go. Picking up a positive lead in the form of Umbreon. They make a play into a Pelipper, and we actually meet this with our Noctowl. I had a strong feeling that they were running a Lantern in the back. Most teams are. It's a pretty safe assumption to read that there's a potential Lantern in the back. I mean, honestly, guys. So we play safely and we align the Noctowl, and we shielded up a Weather Ball here. I did not trust my counts. I counted 8 in the midst of this battle, and I counted 8 now watching it back, and they definitely were not at a hurricane, but I just wasn't trusting my counts, and can you really blame me with the state of this game, guys? You never know. So we shielded up a Weather Ball, but we do flip switch in the end, and there it is, right on cue. Read the team like a book. There was 100% a Lantern in the back, which is why we aligned the Noctowl on to the Pelipper. And tried to get to that Shadow Ball, but just could not quite get there, and now we will align our Hypno onto this compromised Lantern. We are down a shield, but we can do just fine here, especially knowing that they have an Umbreon in the back there. They panic swap back into the Umbreon. They were up again. They're backed into a corner here. I mean, we had the alignment. That's the power of Noctowl, guys. It wins a lot of matchups, guys. So being able to flip your switch advantage with a Pokemon like Noctowl is quite nice. We were able to align our Obstagoon and keep it locked on to this Umbreon. And this is, again, why you absolutely want to run Cross Chop. You do not want to be running Obstruct and Night Slash when you're up against a bulky Dark type like Umbreon. Let me tell you, guys, it's quite miserable. Not a fun time at all. And we will farm this Umbreon all the way down. We leave with a little bit of health, enough to stay in this battle long enough to get off some Night Slashes and really put the pressure on this Lantern. Not going to let them farm us down. Going to throw Hypno back in here and pressure that final shield. Banking on them, perhaps losing track of our energy, and they did. And that is just icing on the cake here. Gonna let this go. They kind of have to bait us to get that final shield. We know that, so we're no shielding this. And all we need to do is land a neutral Thunder Punch at this point. We do shield here. It is another Surf. And we were a bit rusty with our Hypno, guys. We overtap. Oh my goodness, we overtapped. We were out of practice with our Hypno, but that's okay. Obstagoon says, don't worry, buddy, I got ya. We had some energy. We needed 2 counters, and we are saying bye-bye to the very annoying Lantern with the boost. The unnecessary Obstagoon boost at the end. You'll love to see it. Good game, well played to them. This Hypno team was quite effective and quite consistent. For reasons like this, guys, I'm telling you, Obstagoon on the lead, very underrated. You pick up some nice leads like what we had here. And if I see Grass Poison from here on out with this team, we're going into Hypno. Like I said, guys, in another battle, I went in with Noctowl. They had a Shadow Vic save swap, and I knew that I could fully farm it down. But what I didn't know is that was a Mad Lad running Sludge Bomb on their Shadow Vic, and it one shot, and we lost against this very same team. But instead of Venusaur, they had a Shadow Vic with Sludge Bomb. And yeah, from here on out, and I would highly recommend, if you give this team a try and you see Grass Poison, you go Hypno for sure. Because there's always something like this in the back, either a Sableye, a Medicham, or a Trevenant. And if you come in with Hypno on the Grass Poison, Noctowl will do just fine against whatever they have left in the back, and that is exactly what we see here. They come back in with the Basti out of desperation, and we meet it with our Obstagoon, and they promptly top left. I don't blame them. We had the alignment, and that is the team, my friends. How about Hypno in Season 13 of Pokemon Go Battle League and the Great League? This is a solid time to run Hypno, guys. It is not just for the Kanto Cup. It has a lot of play in this current meta. And the reason why is because it has such a versatile moveset, has access to all the elemental punches, has access to Shadow Ball, allowing you to fight back against opposing psychics and opposing ghost types. Even has access to Focus Blast if you want to get spicy. So Hypno, quite versatile. I like that it has the elemental punches, allowing you to fight back against the water types and the flyers. Hypno, quite underrated and quite effective in this meta right now, which is why I wanted to feature it on this team. And you lead with Obstagoon. Both the Pokemon in the back are amazing answers to all Obstagoon's weaknesses, and that being fighters. Not too many Charmers around with the nerf, which I don't mind at all, but there are a lot of Medichams, and both of our Pokemon in the back handle Medicham beautifully, which is a recipe for a lot of success. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.